come to you and take your views on that. Right now, though, let's try and cross over to Kumasi. Professor Seth Opuni Siama, President of the Ashanti Region Peace Council, is speaking there. Let's take a listen.
Goes to extremes as we prepare to hear from the Electoral Commission in respect of the declarations of the ultimate results. Furthermore, we wish to encourage all of us to keep our heads high and do all in our power to control the level of tension, speculation, and anxiety that we may find ourselves in whilst awaiting the results. We also wish to appeal to the EC that in spite of all the difficulties that they are facing at the moment, they should do everything possible to let the results be declared as early as possible. We have heard the chairperson of the EC make promises of releasing the results quite early. The Peace Council of Ashanti is appreciative of that, and we encourage her and her officers to continue to ensure that these results be issued as soon as possible so as to quell the anxiety of people in the country. Let us all resolve as Ghanaians sincerely to live our lives peacefully. Let us comport and conduct ourselves with care and caution when we celebrate and jubilate as the results of are declared by the EC. Let us avoid using our roads, motorways, and highways for jubilation and maintain peace on our roads and avoid any accidents. We also want to appeal to members of whichever party loses when the results are announced to also exercise restraint in their sadness, because let us remember that whatever happens, Ghana is the winner. Whether we win or lose, Ghana must win. And therefore, even when we have not won, we should remember that it is the will of God that has determined what the results will be. We wish to invite all and sundry to live in peace and work together for the greater glory of our dear nation, Ghana. Long live Ghana, and long live the Ashanti region.
Well, so you had the Regional Peace Council, and Professor Asiama, who is the president, just deliver their message. We want to engage him further to try to find out what they observed so far in the course of the election in the Ashanti region. What has been your observation? Any flashpoints you could share with us?
Well, we visited a few places we thought were flashpoints, places in Abuabo and Aswase constituency, and luckily when we went there, we did not see anything we expected to see. Everything was moving so smoothly. It was unbelievable that the place had even been tagged as a flashpoint. Everything went on quite well. There's only one incident that we found at one of the polling stations in Abuabo, where people had actually amassed motorbikes at the polling station, and the police took immediate action by confiscating all those motorbikes, putting them in their truck, and taking them to the station. Luckily for us, none of the people who owned the motorbikes actually objected to the police doing that. And I believe that after everything has settled down, they'll go to the station and do what they had to do, and the police will release the motorbikes to them. Otherwise, there were a few incidents of places where we went, and the way people were queuing in the sun, in fact, we were not happy at all. We think that next time, in choosing the polling stations, we should do well to ensure that people who stand in queues to cast their votes will be comfortable, but not to punish them just because they want to exercise their civic responsibility. In just one area, we found that the polling station was on a higher ground, and you had to climb steps to get there. We asked the electoral officer, and he himself was concerned about it. But what he told us was that they haven't got any handicapped person yet coming there. But if one comes, they are prepared to come down the steps to let the person do what he has to do to cast his vote. So I think generally we were extremely happy with the way things had gone. And we hope that future elections will be like this. We want to congratulate Ghanaians and the people of the Ashanti region for a great work done.
Gauging the mood in town and the fact that the results are yet to be declared, if they are declared going forward, what should we watch out for as a security concern?
That is the purpose of our meeting today. In fact, the Peace Council had an emergency meeting today to discuss the very issues. Because yesterday we had information about the way people were jubilating in town. In fact, as I sat in my office in Asokwa, I heard people tooting their horns. Some even had brass band on the back of their truck, jubilating. I heard a few things happening at the Central Market and in KJTIA. We think that people are going a bit too far. That's why we had this meeting today to, as it were, draw people's attention to the fact that it's only even if your party has won, it's only an election victory. It is not a war victory. And therefore, we should exert extreme restraint in our jubilation. And sometimes we find that young men and women actually running up and down streets, endangering their lives and the lives of others just because they want to celebrate. If your party has really won and you celebrate, and in the celebration you lose your life, what is the essence of the victory of your party to you? So we encourage our young people to ensure that they will jubilate in restraint and ensure that they don't endanger their lives and the lives of others.
You speak of the EC declaring the elections earlier. What implications will a delayed declaration have in your region?
From what we have seen, Ashanti region being the one would say the World Bank of the New Patriotic Party, and we realize that with the kind of anxiety that we have, as I said, people have already started jubilating in Ashanti because they believe the NPP has won. If the EC delays in issuing this election, and it turns out that the NPP does not win this election, I can foresee a very difficult time ahead of us in the Ashanti region to, as it were, convince all the people jubilating now that in fact their jubilation has been in vain. It will be a tough task for us. And that's why we think the EC should hurry up and come up with the results, whatever it is, so that people's anxieties will be quelled and people can relate to the results when they are eventually released. Even if the results come out and NPP has won, it is still going to heighten tensions in the region, because as we have seen this morning, we heard people taunting one another, NDC and NPP, people taunting one another, claiming victory over the other, and so on. There are tough times ahead, and therefore we think that as a Peace Council, we should begin talking now before the results are actually declared, so that people will realize that whether you win or lose, you must do whatever you are doing with absolute restraint to ensure that there is. And we should not forget that as we speak now, the mother of the Ashanti nation is dead, and we must exercise some restraint in terms of noise making and so on and so forth. We are jubilating, but we are also in a mourning mood. We cannot depart from that. So we encourage people, we urge people never to forget Nana Santihima, and also to ensure that whilst we jubilate, we remember the old lady is also watching us from wherever she is.
Well, thank you very much. And you had the Peace Council headed by Professor Asiama speak to us now. And definitely when you go on the streets, you find people jubilating on the streets of Adum, the Central Business District. Is all jubilation mood in there.
You're still live on Joy 99.7 FM. We're also live on Love FM 99.5 in Kumasi.